It's food o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I picked up some noodles from Asda recently. They're called Namdong. And they're called beef JJigae. They come in at £1.24 for 83 grams of noodles. Now, I picked these up because they were new in Asda and they had a little kind of like flag on the side of the shelf where they were advertised, and they look pretty. I quite like the branding. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I quite like the branding. They look rather interesting. Flick the kettle on. Well, these noodles were sat on the side of my shelf, and my youngest daughter said to me, "Oh, Dad, these are trending on TikTok." So I thought, oh, well, I'd better get them done then. What's interesting about these noodles is that you can choose your own spice level. Now, the argument here is that you could probably do that with a samyang if you want to, but they're actively promoting this. They're saying no sachet, smiley little fox face, no problems at all. Half a sachet, slightly squealing fox face. Full sachet, well, looks like the fox isn't very well. £1.24. What you do, rip the lid halfway open, grab your sachet. Ooh. Now then, have a look. There's already powder in the noodles. And there's the chilli sachet. So naturally, I'm going to open the sachet. Oh, it's powder. Add the powder from the lid. And go all in. So it's like a red, wow, it's like a red. Look at that. Red powder. All in. Let's see if it makes my face do that. You pour the water up to the fill line, as you can see there, so let's do that. They're a beef flavoured noodle, so I'm going to put the fork in, make sure the hot water gets right down to the bottom. I'm going to fold the lid, put the lid on, and then we wait for 3 minutes. But before I cut the video and say I'll be back in 3 minutes, I just want to mention something, and that is that I've just 45 minutes ago, so my mouth is still kind of numb. I've just reviewed the Iceland Pepper X chicken korma. So my mouth is already blasted, if you like. I have it here. There's the dish, the empty contents of the dish. And there's the warning world's hottest chili pepper challenge. It was so hot, I've literally just got over it. In fact, my top lip is still sweating, even after 45 minutes. So it'll be really interesting to see just how hot these noodles really are. And it's probably the reason why I put all of the powder in, just to give these a really good test. Right, okay, it's been 3 minutes. How hot can these noodles be? Let's get rid of the lid. It's marketing, it's branding, it's a way of, as I mentioned earlier, Samyang's nuclear fire noodles. If you wanted to just add half a sachet, there's nothing stopping you. But what I like about this is that they're making it fun. They're making it fun. They're saying, look, add none. There's still going to be a bit of spice in there. There's going to be a bit of beef flavour. Enjoy the beef flavour. Half a sachet. Might make you squeal a little bit. Full sachet. Well, let's find out. While they're cooling down, we'll have a little quick look to see where these noodles are made. Or the Unilever. Oh, right, okay. Oh, right, okay. So they're masquerading. They're masquerading as a Samyang style nuclear fire noodle. They're actually made by Unilever in the UK. So they're probably a sort of like super noodle type thing. Right. I'm pretty sure Bachelor's Super Noodles are made by Unilever. So it's the same sort of company. So that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. That's a good thing. That's Unilever saying, hey, we can't just carry on making super noodles anymore. People are not going to buy them. We need to change. We need to do something a bit better. We need to brand something. We need to make something new. So let's call it Namdong. And let's make it a bit fun. In terms of flavour, in terms of spice, right, it's nothing on something as crazy as a Pepper X. Spicy korma from Iceland. That was just palate ruining food. So I'm eating these like I'm actually really enjoying these. As somebody who eats spice quite a lot, these are a lovely, lovely spicy beef noodle. They're really tasty. I think maybe these are aimed at it looks like they are, the TikTok generation, the young generation coming through who want to talk about something on TikTok. Spice levels, you know, it's sort of that kind of like computer game. I'm part of the computer game generation. I'll count myself in this, so I do understand. I had R-Type, and I had Double Dragon, and I had all of these other games that required you to go up a level, 1-up and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's part of my generation. I like the fun aspect of it. If you're a young kid with £2 of pocket money a week, and you don't want to waste all your pocket money on something that's going to be a bit too hot for you, then maybe add half a sachet. Maybe add half a sachet. If you fancy the full beans, a load of fun, then add the full sachet. It's up to you. What I will say is that it definitely has that Bachelor's Super Noodle texture. it has that Bachelor's Super Noodle beef flavour. So they feel quite familiar. They don't feel getting them everywhere, all over me. They don't feel as alien, if you like, if you don't mind me using that language. They don't feel as alien as a Samyang nuclear fire noodle. It's like their way of saying, hey, let's fight this, let's battle this, let's use all of Unilever's marketing power and fight back against the Samyang nuclear fire noodle. The only problem with that is, as you can see, it's not very spicy. It's not like blowing my face apart like a nuclear fire noodle will do from Samyang. So to the boring bit, if you're a youngster watching this, the boring bit. Probably Samyang have a copyright on adding liquefied, soupy, thick material, if you like. Sounds weird. A thick, concentrated broth to a noodle. They probably own the copyright to that. But the clever people at Unilever know that what if you add a sachet of powder and try and do the same thing? That's what they've gone for. It's not as hot. It's not as hot. But they're quite tasty. They're quite tasty. By the way, when I think of Unilever, I think of like washing powder and stuff. I don't necessarily think of it as food. I think, yeah, they make fairy washing up liquid. They probably don't. They probably do. I don't know. They make a lot of things. This was fun. I enjoyed them, but they're a very British stroke American company. They're not really Namdong. They're not really like from China or Asia or Japan or someone like that. They're fun. They're good. I'm going to say 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.